Hey everyone, Chris from Rakombu here, and I'm here with the brand new shiny OnePlus 5 flagship phone, freshly launched this week. First big flagship device from OnePlus since the OnePlus 3T about 7 months ago, and HTC's U11, its own fresh new flagship phone, brand new for 2017. I'm going to do a quick side-by-side to see which one might be best for you, just from the features and the specs. So as you can see, obviously at a casual glance, they're both could pretty much be siblings. They're both 5.5-inch handsets, sport very similar dimensions. From the front, they look pretty much identical. And as you can see, the OnePlus is ever so slightly skinnier at 7.25mm, but there's not much in it. They've both got slightly adjusting camera lenses, which you can hopefully make out there. The OnePlus sticks out slightly more, but it's a difference of maybe 0.5mm or so. There's not much in it at all. Flip over to the back, and they do both sport a very different finish. As you can see, the OnePlus 5 has this nice sort of sleek matte metal finish to it. It's got a full aluminium unibody. As you can see, it's got an iPhone style bandon at the top and the bottom, and of course that unique dual lens camera there, unique for the OnePlus range anyway. This is the first OnePlus phone to sport such a camera setup, along with the dual LED flash and the rest of it. SIM tray on the side there, which you also get on the HTC U11 up top. Although in the OnePlus you sadly can't slip a microSD memory card in it as well. That's only for the HTC U11 for expanding the onboard storage. Down below you do get Type-C USB port on both handsets, as well as a little speaker. And as for the headphone jack, there is only one on the OnePlus 5. You don't get one on the HTC U11, unfortunately. So as you can see, it's just there on the bottom of the OnePlus 5. You'll have to use Type-C connectivity or Bluetooth or similar with the HTC U11. And of course the HTC U11 as well also has a glossy rear, as you can see there, very shiny, very glossy. It's actually optical spectrum hybrid deposition manufactured, according to HTC. Bit of a mouthful there. But it doesn't really make much difference, to be honest with you, especially in this black model. It's supposed to just change the color when you sort of twist it and it catches the light differently. Right now it's basically just a glossy black handset, and it is a bit smudgy, something that you won't get from the OnePlus 5, which, as you can see, remains pretty smudge free, especially good when it's really sweaty and hot as it is in the studio right now. So as you can see, those nice greasy sweaty prints on the back of the U11. Yeah, very sexy, great stuff. The HTC U11 also boasts full water resistance, something that you will not get in the OnePlus 5. So don't go taking the OnePlus 5 into the bath or the shower or anything like that. Now, as for those displays, 5.5 inches in both cases, but again, very, very different. The HTC U11, it's actually a Quad HD panel, Super LCD 5. So really, really, really sharp visuals at all times. On the OnePlus 5, sadly, it's a full HD resolution, so it's not quite as sharp. But, you know, for everyday use, it absolutely does the job. You know, stick them side by side, you'll struggle to make out any difference in terms of the resolution. It's still very, very crisp. It's only when you play the likes of 4K content or something like that back on them that you can really notice any kind of level of detail difference between the two of them. As you can see, both very punchy panels as well. The color reproduction is nice and vibrant, probably slightly better on the HTC U11, despite the fact that it's not an AMOLED screen like the OnePlus. You do get really nice rich reds, as you can hopefully make out there, but it's a minimal difference. Again, you can only really tell when the two are side by side, so I would not worry about that whatsoever. In terms of the audio output, the HTC of course boasts a bit of the U-Sonic headphones, which come bundled, and the Boom Sound dual speakers, so one up top above the screen and one below on the bottom edge of the phone. As for the OnePlus, it looks like it might have a dual speaker setup as well, but this is just the earpiece at the top there. That doesn't output any media. That's just the tiny little grill speaker on the bottom there. That's the only speaker output on this phone. Both, you know, put out a sort of reasonable sound, but this is obviously a much crisper, fully bodied sound and slightly more powerful as well. In terms of the screen power, however, the OnePlus 5 has it. It's the brighter of the two panels. This is turned right the way down at the moment. If we boost it to full, it'll basically set your face on fire. It'll be like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. So let's not do that. Definitely not a good idea. Both of these handsets are running full Android Nougat, of course, the latest version of Android, if you ignore the or beta, obviously, with a few little extra touches added by the manufacturers themselves. So, for instance, the HTC U11 has a bit of the Edge Sense feature, where basically if you squeeze it, it can then load up the app of your choice, in this case, the camera. The OnePlus, of course, also supports lots of different gestures as well. So for instance, if you shut it off and then I've set it up so if you draw an O on the screen, it'll then load up Spotify. But you can, of course, set that to any app you want, including, of course, Netflix. You can set it to any app you want, including, of course, the camera. Or if you give the power button a quick double tap, that should also load up the camera. There we go, second time lucky. So that's always great. You of course get full fingerprint sensor tech on both handsets, so if we knock them both off, they're both built into the home button just beneath the screen. Give them a quick tap and you're loaded straight into your desktops. They're both super fast, super responsive, so they're pretty much a tie in terms of ease of use and quality and all the rest of it. Definitely good to have. And you get lots of other customization in there as well. You can basically customize pretty much every part of both of these handsets. You do, of course, get the special HTC Sense Companion on the U11 as well, which basically just adds extra little suggestions. We've been using it for a couple of weeks so far. It's nothing particularly special, just warns you about crap weather, sort of informs you of any nice restaurants you can get in the area. Nothing particularly outrageous, but we'll continue to test it and sort of see if it offers up anything particularly unique. And we do quite like the read-in mode on the OnePlus 5. That basically uses the ambient light sensor to also affect the color temperature as well as the brightness for an easier on the eye experience, especially when using the likes of the Kindle app for reading ebooks and the rest of it, hence the name. And both phones also support the night mode tech, which of course filters blue light and makes a more easy on the eye experience. You can set that to schedule at specific times or between sunset and sunrise, which is always nice to have. As for the processor tech, you get a bit of Snapdragon 835 action in both of these bad boys, backed by 4 or 6 gigs of RAM in the HTC U11 or 6 to 8 gigs of RAM in the OnePlus 5. If we load up the Antutu benchmarking app, you'll be able to see how well they both perform as well. Oh, no, that's not the Antutu benchmarking app. Here we go. So as you can see, the OnePlus 5 just absolutely canes it with 180,000. That's roughly an average score you get on this. You test it over and over. It goes up to about 185, down to 175, depending on, you know, when you're running the test. HTC U11, however, performs just as strongly, even though this has got less RAM. So this is the 8GB RAM model of the OnePlus, whereas it's only the 4GB version of the HTC U11, and yet it still performs very admirably indeed. 176,000, a great score indeed. So there you go. So either will definitely do the job for your everyday performance. Obviously, apps load up the instant you tap them, absolutely no waiting around whatsoever, and you can play the latest games with these. Really great frame rate and all the rest of it. So if you want something for the future, either of those will definitely do the job. As for the storage, you get 64 or 128 gigs in either handset. So this is the Midnight Black model of the OnePlus 5, which supports 128 gigs, otherwise you can get it in Slate Grey for 64 gigs. Otherwise, I previously said the HTC U11 is the only one that has expandable storage, so it's got the advantage in that respect. Both phones support a decent sized battery as well, and you get fast charging as well. You get a bit of dash charge in the OnePlus, whereas it's the Qualcomm's quick charge in the HTC U11. So you can power them both up to near full in just over an hour, which is lovely to have. Which brings us nicely onto the camera tech. Now both phones support very different cameras as well, but they are both pretty solid snappers. The HTC U11 is actually one of our favourite camera phones around at the moment, thanks to that 12 megapixel UltraPixel 3 sensor. It's got full optical image stabilization, all the kind of stuff you'd expect. It's an f1.7 aperture lens, so it's really, really good in low light, particularly. Very good for those high contrast scenes and the rest, helped along by that HDR boost feature. And if we just load up the camera app, it's nice and simple to use. It's basically just a point and shoot. Full autofocus, very, very fast, and manual focus as well. And once you focus, you just snap away, and there's just no hanging around. It takes a snap pretty much the instant you hit the shutter button. As you can see, nice bright shots and all the rest of it as well. And it's a nice simple interface. You can quickly switch to video with a tap of the video icon. Oh, thanks WhatsApp. You can also bring up various different camera modes as well. So you've got full manual controls, which is obviously always great to have. And you can also shoot panoramas, hyperlapse and slow motion video, and of course usual selfie pics and all the rest of it as well. As I say, it goes up to a full 12 megapixel. And yeah, you can shoot 4K resolution video too. And around the front, you get a 60 megapixel f2.0 aperture lens, again with the HDR boost and the rest of it. And that captures really stunning, detail-packed and sharp shots in pretty much any lighting conditions as well. So yeah, so nice, straightforward but easy to get to grips with snapper that's very capable indeed. OnePlus 5, as you might have noticed, sports a very different kind of camera. It's got a dual lens snapper, OnePlus's first dual lens camera so far, and it's really, really good. So far in our testing, we're quite enjoying it. It's a bit more complex than the HTCs. As you can see, there's a few more options available, but you can basically quickly switch between the portrait mode, standard photo mode, and the video mode with just a quick swipe. You can again shoot up to 4K video, and of course it's two lenses, so you get a 16 megapixel f1.7 aperture and a 20 megapixel f2.6 aperture, and they work together in order to basically capture extra detail, and you get special bonus modes like that portrait mode, where basically if you just go into a subject, give them a quick tap, and then take a snap, and what that does is it just kind of blurs out the background to sort of keep them in focus, and it just makes them stand out more from the rest of the photo. So that's always nice. We'll begin that full testing for our full OnePlus 5 camera review, of course. And as you can see, a basic number of modes, kind of similar to the HTC U11. You get full portrait mode, full manual controls. You can shoot raw images as well, and you get time lapse and slow motion on top of that to boot. And around the front, you get 16 megapixel f2.0 aperture lens, which again seems to capture really sharp, detailed selfies. So in terms of the camera tech, we will be doing a full head-to-head with these two phones, so stay tuned for that. It should be coming in the next day or so to see exactly how they perform in terms of photo and video quality. And that, in a nutshell, is these two handsets side by side. So, the HTC U11 offers a few extra smarts, a few more improved specs compared to the OnePlus, such as that gorgeous Quad HD screen and the rest of it. But you know what? In terms of everything else, they're pretty evenly matched. Both got quick charge, of course. Both sport very good cameras, top level performance on that Snapdragon 835 and the rest of it, and some really good custom features on top of Android Nougat as well. So which one would you buy? Let us know in the comments below, and thanks for watching everyone. Cheers, bye.